Strap yourself in, because we're set up, switched on, and ready to go.
You are watching and listening to Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube and your favourite podcasts.
England! England!
Looking back through the years, we can't hold back the tears and the fears. We gotta be what we can be, 'cause we can write a new history, yeah. So we on Kane, Sterling, we believe we wear the lion's heart on our sleeves. We are England through and through. Come on, England, we love you.
Till I Die TV, your first choice for everything Leicester City. Tune in and join in now.
And now, here's your host.
Right, Chris.
All right there, how the devil are we? Welcome along. Just thinking, I'd hate to be working behind the bar when England score. I mean, all that beer goes up everywhere, and you think, shit, there's going to be one hell of a queue now for refills. This is Leicester Till I Die TV. If you've not before and you're watching on YouTube, but please give us a subscribe, as it says down there. Click the like button if you can for us, that would be great. And the notification bell, then you will never miss a show. And if you are listening to us on the old podcast, whichever one that is, we're on all the main ones and all the little ones as well. Thank you very much for listening in. One thing I do ask you to do as well as that, though, please, is support the companies that support the channel.
Leicester lead again. The goals are flowing here now.
The Leicester Till I Die shop is now open. For all your Leicester Till I Die merchandise, visit the Leicester Till I Die shop at our website.
Yes, indeed. And if you want more information on the YouTube channel, it is all below in the description with links. It's the World Cup Group E, and we're going to bring my co-host in. What can I say about him that won't get me in court? Probably not an awful lot, to be honest with you. You know him. It's Dan, the Burnley fan. Good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm all right. Fresh from pissing off every other fan base in football, but yeah, it's all good now. I'm glad to be back.
I think you'll find that's every other fan base in the Championship.
Well, just to narrow it down, Chris, I didn't want to put a title on it. I tried to give it some je ne sais quoi, but
I think we could
call it as it is, Chris. Call it as it is.
Well, Hull and Coventry, basically, wasn't it? Let's be honest, let's call a potato a potato. And that's all because you didn't put them in a good position in your table for next season.
I didn't. I've sort of gone a bit blandly into my championship predictions. I've called it early, and I've called a few probably relatively wrong. When you've been in the Prem for so long, as you and James will know, being an Everton and Leicester fan, that you tend to sometimes not even look at the division below. And for the last 2 or 3 seasons, I haven't. So I've based it on the fact that from what I'd seen when I had been watching, and I've upset the apple cart, Chris.
Not like you at all.
No, not like me.
No.
Sweet and innocent.
Chris, welcome back for the sloppy second show. Thanks very much for joining us. Chris Welsh, good evening. So how the devil are you? Evening to the two
Chris.
legends. I'm going to be honest, I don't know whether I could call myself a legend or not, but the guy that invented the windowsill, no, he's a ledge.
If you had to choose, Chris, which one would you rather be? The left or the right leg?
Right, I suppose. But thank you totally for ignoring my my ledge joke.
Sometimes there's jokes that are sent to try us, and there's jokes that are so old and tested.
I will use it every time until you laugh, and I will keep doing it. One day you will laugh. Too late. Too late. The moment's gone. He's in the house. He's here. Gentleman is here. We've got the Southampton Massive in. Anthony, good evening. How the devil are you? Oh, God.
He can't help himself, can he?
He can't. Chris says we have a Premier League fan legend and EFL fan legend. Yes, you will. Maybe League One after next season. Who knows? Possibly. But we are looking at the World Cup. And we are up to Group E this week. I must admit, I do feel a bit like QI. Do you ever watch QI where they keep going through the letters of the alphabet?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I have seen it briefly, but I'm not a regular watcher.
Well, it's not really the sort of program for Lancashire.
Same with dogging, Chris. Same with dogging. I've come across it, but I'm not a regular watcher.
You come across it, well, I hope you wiped it up afterwards. Dirty bugger. Learn to aim. As the sign in the restaurant toilet said, we aim to please, you aim to please. Hey, that's a new one.
I'll let you have that one.
You know that one. Helen, good evening. How are you? Welcome along.
Evening, Helen.
Yeah, and Anthony is asking you to check your Instagram. Dan, no, he's not on. He's not on Tinder. I've told you, Anthony. He's not. Try Gaydar. And everybody else is just saying hello to everybody. So it is Group E, and we're just going to go through a few sort of catch-ups here. The key dates there, and I'm not bothered with the EFL because they don't. They're only supplying the smaller national teams anyway. August the 6th is when the Premier League starts. I think it has its own start date. We don't want to start the same day as the rest of the plebs. And then November the 12th to the 13th, it's the final round of Premier League matches, ready for the start of the World Cup on the 21st. December the 2nd is the final set of group stage matches. The 3rd to the 6th is the round of 16 starting. The 9th to the 10th is the quarters. 13th to the 14th, the semis. And December the 18th is the World Cup final. And December the 26th is when the Premier League resumes. And all joking aside, and we have a bit of banter about, Premier League and Championship now, Dan. But, there's some big teams in the Championship. And there's teams there that have got may have players in like the Welsh squad and the some of the qualified teams, but your season starts again before the World Cup's finished.
Yeah. I think we come back the same weekend of the quarterfinals. So it's a super like from you, Anthony. I know what you like, dirty bugger. But yeah, we come back in the same week as the quarterfinals, and as you say, we've got the likes of Connor Roberts. We've got Connor Roberts with Wales, Wayne Hennessy if he doesn't make the move to Notts Forest, which he's been linked with. Yeah. So you're going to have players that are going to be in these stages if they advance to that, to that effort, into the quarters. But we'll see. We'll see. I think it's going to be hard, and this goes back to your debate show last Friday about, does the Premier League have, too many games when there's only 20 teams compared to 24, and, the likes of all these cup competitions in the lower leagues, like the Johnson's Pate Trophy, FA Cup, League Cup, and we have to start rounds earlier.
Don't you knock those competitions? I mean, today Day 25 of the transfer window. No transfer news for Leicester City as yet, but great, exciting news. We know when we're playing in the Papa John's Trophy. So don't you be knocking it, young man. That was the whole of my news show earlier, dragging out the Papa John's draw. It wasn't.
What is that for? Is that for the under-23s?
It is, exactly. Exactly. It wasn't, by the way, if you still want to watch it, it was about transfer news as well. Kate is saying she met you on Tinder, mate. Nursery is just the cover story. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. But I just think it's wrong. And it's almost like they're saying, well, if you're not playing for the top league, then you're going to be playing for, you've got a player that's playing internationally. It's going to be for a country that's got no chance of getting to the last four. And I just think it's wrong, to be honest with you.
Yeah, if you're going to curtail football for a World Cup tournament, then curtail the whole thing. Don't start bringing it back a week earlier, or let the tournament end and then people get their players back. It's
kind of get League One and League Two, but that's no disrespect to Chris Walsh or whatever that's in. I kind of get that, but the Championship, there's some, fairly big teams in there. Anyway, this will be the 6th World Cup this century, I think, as we've said before. Brazil won the first in 2002, Italy in 2006, Spain, the one and only, in 10, Germany again in 14, and France in 18. So who will it be? Who will it be this year? And that is how many titles everybody has won. France got 2. England and Spain, we both got 1. I mean, there's a lot of. I mean, to say there's how many World Cups there's been, and it's only been shared out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 teams. It's almost like the Scottish League of World Cup football, isn't it? It's the same, always up there. It's like we've got the big 6, they've always got the big 8.
Yeah, exactly. It's madness. I mean, did some of these teams win them under different names? Like, did Germany win any under West Germany? Or
yes, they did. In fairness, yeah.
I think didn't Uruguay win the first ever?
They did. You were there.
Oh,
1930,
I remember you taking me, Chris. I remember you taking me.
Yeah, you were a snotty little bugger even then. 1930 was the first one, held in Uruguay. And in fairness, I think there was only about 10 teams in it or something. So,
wow.
Let's just took place. It doesn't say how many are in, but it wasn't that many. England didn't go to it. But anyway, moving on, because we are looking at Group E, and it's all been finalised now. All the playoffs are finished. All the groups have been done. And we now know that Group E has got Spain. We know they've got Germany and Japan. And it's now been joined by Costa Rica, who put out New Zealand. And I still annoys me that teams, whether it be Costa Rica, New Zealand, Australia, they've got to go all through these extra matches. Why? I mean, they're going to extend it to 32 teams, which I think is absolutely ridiculous. But let's hope that they get rid of these playoff matches. And I want to see the smaller teams at the World Cup. Yeah,
it's good. It's good for them. It's good for them. It's good publicity for them, and also, they can surprise a few teams because they're unknown quantities. So people are going to look at it and think, I don't know, say a team like Papua New Guinea, come up against Spain or something and turn them over 2-0. And everyone will be like, whoa. The thing that bugs me is nowadays, all it will be about is how bad Spain was, how bad, Spain played in that game. It won't be so much about how Papua New Guinea tore them a new arsehole. It's strange, but I'd like to see some of the smaller nations in there.
Now, I was watching Brad's show the other day on A Matter of Opinion, and he did a thing on conspiracies. Did man land on the moon? Who killed JFK? Well, I've got to be honest with you. I have now found Bigfoot. Doug and I've said this before, what size feet are you? Because they're not. You don't have feet. You have skis. They are massive, mate. I tell you what, if the saying is true about big feet, Rebecca must have a constant smile on her face. That's all I can say. I mean, they didn't even reach the end of the photograph. But you're going on Greece to your you're going on your honeymoon to Greece. Even have a great time, mate. Don't do anything you wouldn't enjoy. Which leaves it wide open. Big up, Doug. Hope you have a great time. Dan doesn't even know what cooking. Sorry, you don't know what cooking is.
Apparently not.
I've seen you do a cook. I remember I was a cook. I remember you had got it set up in the kitchen and you were doing the stir fry or something in the wok.
Yeah, I had a good spag bowl going on that evening. It weren't too bad. I do like cooking. For me, cooking is getting your hands dirty. Making sure that you are, with fresh ingredients, cutting it up, mixing it all together. That stuff's all right. Grabbing a bag of frozen chips out the oven and just whacking them in the oven for me isn't cooking.
Tis for me. When I started my last new job, they had one of those stupid things on the first day. Tell everybody what your favourite food is. I said, whatever pings, that's my favourite food. Doug, are you serious? Size 14.
Jesus.
You have to have your shoes specially made. Bloody hell! I bet when you go through one of those things like the co-op, I bet it goes ping 5 minutes before the rest of your body.
I bet the BFG turns up at his house during night and slips him his old pair through window.
Oh, bloody hell, Doug. No wonder you only do shows from the waist upwards. But anyway, let us go on with Group E. Now then, you've done your own work, young man.
Yeah.
we will be testing you now. Remember, Doug is watching, and it's in Doug's shoes that you are standing. Well,
for me, that's an Olympic swimming pool.
I don't know with your daughter, but my daughter, it reminds me when they tried to wear the mum's high heels.
Yeah.
Or in your case, your high heels, but let's
true. I keep saying, get them off, you'll break your neck.
Kate. Right, so the first one, it was drawn out in Group E, is Viva España. We're off to sunny Spain. Well, we're not. We're off to bloody hot Dubai, Qatar. Sorry, but you don't remember that? Viva España. Sylvia, check it out on YouTube afterwards, guys. Hey, and before you say anything, Doug, it's a fucking sight better than Delamitri. Don't come home too soon. Right, so this is Spain. FIFA ranked number 7 in the world. Obviously, they are European. Just in case anybody wants a geography lesson, they were in the European region. They qualified back in November by coming first in Group B. There's been 22 World Cups. They have been in 16 of them, and they won it last in 2010. So a while ago now. I keep thinking of it. Oh, they were recent winners, but it's like 12 years ago.
Yeah, I mean they didn't really tear it up in 2018 either. They lost on penalties to Russia in the round of 16. To be honest, Spain aren't the same monster they were. For me, Spain have started to get a bit of a young squad going now, get some of the youth players coming through. I think they've done it right, mixing a bit of the old and the young. I mean, you've still got the likes of Sergio Ramos in there, who's, as we all know, is a born leader. You've got Sergio Busquets from Barcelona, David De Gea at the back, but even him, well, less said about Man United players, the better. But some of the young players,
you're adding them to the Coventry and Hull fans that you want to upset.
Oh, sod it. I'm here to upset everybody. Bugger it. but some of the young players that are coming through are decent, and most of them have come from Barcelona's youth system. Ansu Fati, Xavi, Pedri, Pau Torres, I think, came through Atletico Madrid, and Eric Garcia came from Manchester City, but recently signed for Barcelona. So you've got a mix of both. It's nice to see Luis Enrique back in the dugout as well, the Spain manager, after everything that happened with his family, etc. Yeah. So it's nice to see him, and I think Spain will go better than the round of 16 this time, in my opinion.
They actually, going back to 2014, the World Cup after they actually won it, because they won it in South Africa. Oh, who can't forget a good vuvuzela, eh? I'm still scratching. But in the following one, in 2014 in Brazil, they didn't get out of the group stage.
Yeah. It's as I say, they need to find a balance. They need to find a balance to Spain. I don't know whether it's you know, from the days of probably Vicente del Bosque, you know, when he was in charge, it didn't seem to. There always seemed to be something missing. And I think Luis Enrique has come in and sorted that. You know, the situation. Yeah, that's what I mean. You've got David Raya, Robert Sanchez, and let's say I think the last keeper that you said there, Unai Simons at Atletico Madrid. So, you know, they are trying to change it up. They are trying to change it up, and there is going to be young and hungry players coming through that are going to want to perform for the nation. Yeah, so whether they can go one better than the round of 16 is, you know, be interesting to see.
Yeah, their biggest win was actually 6-1 against Bulgaria. But the biggest defeat was 6-1 to Brazil. And we can't forget was it the Spain-Holland game when there was about 20 bookings or something?
Yeah.
You know, that was one of the worst games ever in the World Cup.
Was that not the final as well?
I think it could well have been. It could well have been. Let's just have a look. Round of 16. Yes, it was. Yeah, because it was 1-0 after extra time with Iniesta scoring. And so they're actually coming up. I mean, it's a tough group in a way, because you've got. We'll come on to obviously Germany in a minute, but Spain have played Germany 4 times in the World Cup. They've won 1, drawn 1, and lost 2. And I don't think they've played Costa Rica yet, or Japan. Let's have a look. No, they haven't. They haven't. We haven't beaten them in the World Cup either. So yeah, and I actually went. I actually sort of had a look around for some sort of World Cup trivia, and I'm going to have to say, just to be happy for my lawyers, that this information is supplied by 90minute.com. I've just got to show you this. So this is what they say about Spain. They've ranked them 6 out of the 32 teams there. Their strength is an immense number of technically gifted players. Their weakness is everyone bar Ansu Fati and Ferran Torres have 60 pace on FIFA. I think these are a little bit tongue-in-cheek. Luis Enrique has largely succeeded in making Spain a half-decent team to watch again, but will that translate into tangible success?
Basically, the professional way of what I just said.
Exactly. Sounds so much better without a broad Lancashire accent.
Oh, I bet it. Anything does.
Yeah.
Sound common as muck.
Get ready for all the Scottish talk now. Good evening, Niall. How are you? Welcome along. He's talking honeymoons and weddings there. So, yeah, welcome along, Niall. Okay, so, and this is just the order. I don't know why these are the second in the group, but they are. And this was Costa Rica, who obviously, I say obviously, They beat New Zealand in a playoff, which was a pretty much, to be honest with you, not the most exciting match I've ever watched. Let me just say that. But they are ranked 31 in the world, FIFA, from North America. They qualified, saying only last month in the playoff, via the Intercontinental playoff. They have been in 6 of 22 World Cups, though. They obviously have never won it. And they won't say obviously, but they buggered it up for England when we met them in Brazil.
Yeah, they did. They did. I mean, their best finish came in Brazil in 2014. They reached the quarterfinals. So they did really well in that tournament. Again, you know, a name that sounds familiar to us that support Premier League teams. The manager, Luis Suarez. However, completely different. Luis Fernando Suarez. As I said, they were in another team that qualified for the 2018 World Cup as well. Knocked out in the group stage. I think they lost to Brazil 2-0. And they were knocked out finally in the group stage in 2018 by drawing 2-2 with Switzerland. But, you know, again, as you saw there, if they can be successful in 2014 in Brazil, who's to say that they can't be successful in Dubai? Another hot place for them to play football.
It is, but I sometimes think, and again, I've been fascinated by how much corruption has been going on in FIFA and all these World Cups that have been corrupted. Like when Argentina won it in their own country, how much money was exchanged, etc. Going back to 2014. They actually eventually went out in the quarters to Netherlands, but it was on penalties.
Wow.
So and before that, in the round of 16, they put Greece out on penalties again. They beat Uruguay 3-1. They beat Italy 1-0. And so I suppose England getting a draw against them wasn't actually a bad result.
No, not a bad result at all. Not a bad result. You know, it's one of them as an England fan. It can be very fickle because, as Chris says there, yeah, pretty much the same as I was about to say. They are no mugs, and we can say that, okay, they've had to go in a long way about qualifying, but I think that gives them an added incentive to try and go on and be successful. And when you also put in a group with the likes of Spain and Japan and Germany, you know, they're not going to take to it lightly and think, you know what, Spain and Germany are going to think, easy, that's us two out of the group.
Yeah.
But again, as I said last week, teams like Costa Rica are not there to make up the numbers.
I think it's one of those, I suppose, ingrained in our minds. It's like, if you look at, say, a cup final between Manchester City and Norwich, you immediately think that Norwich are going to be they're going to be literally walked over. But when a team's got to a final, they've got something to have got there, if you like.
Yeah, as you said there, rightly so. They're not there. They're not there to be pushed over. They're here to play football. They're here to, they have got an aging squad. They do have an aging squad. Some of the players that you may know. They've got Keylor Navas, the goalkeeper that was at Real Madrid. I don't know whether he's still there or if he's at PSG. Brian Ruiz, who used to play at Fulham. Brian Oviedo, who used to play for Everton and Sheffield United. But again, they've got a couple of youngsters coming through. They've got.
Did this blank look sort of say anything then? Yeah, the only Costa Rican I remember was Paulo One-Chop.
Wow! Yeah.
Yes. Hey, there's a name. The man who could only ever eat one steak at a time. Hey, here's another one.
Oh, Christopher.
Del Boy. What is the bleeding story?
What's the bleeding story, Del Boy?
Bleeding story. Hey.
But they've got some good young players coming through as well that hopefully can hit the hearts. A lot of the players for Costa Rica play in the MLS. As I said, some of these players are going to be unknown quantities and people aren't going to know their their strengths and weaknesses when it comes to playing the teams like Spain and Germany. So, yeah, I thought you would, James. Thought you would.
Some things are obvious.
Hey, they've got a Costa Rican comedian in the side as well. They've got Johan Venegas. So they've got their own Costa Rican Johnny Vegas in the side. Nah, I know that one's bad. I'll let you have that.
What you dared to tell me about my repeated jokes. That one was awful. That one was awful.
Apologies.
I guess that there's no pressure on them really, because from the outside you look at this group and they say like it should be. We're saying possibly a Spain-Germany final, but those are the two that are expected to go through. And Costa Rica can just, like they did, like say, whether they can do it again, but like they did in Brazil, they can just go, and if they lose, then look who we're up against. Yeah,
exactly. There's nothing to lose and everything to gain. So go out, enjoy it, try and reciprocate what you did in 2014 in Brazil. If you can get to the quarters again, brilliant. But yeah, it could be a surprise package.
I do love how the World Cup we we've had Nyland, who obviously is Scottish, Del Boy, who's obviously he's Irish. They've got no interest in the World Cup whatsoever, but it's good to see that they're sharing that community spirit and coming in and joining in the chat. I mean, the last time Ireland got to a World Cup, I think they had an English manager, didn't they? In Jack Charlton. I'm going to get lots of reviews, aren't I? But no, I can say for me, I think Costa Rica can just literally, like I say, sneak through the back door if necessary.
Yes, sir.
Now. But yeah, no, I say because there is literally no pressure on them. Well, let's see what 90minute.com had to say about them. Well, they rated them 29 out of 32. The strength is the coolest country name. And, I do like their coffee shops, though. I'm not going to lie. Weakness, Costa Coffee. Yeah, no, never mind. Weakness. Apparently, Brian Ruiz is still knocking around. What's that all about?
This is about 39.
I'm not saying Costa Rica's team isn't as good as that, which they nearly reached the semi-finals in 2014, but 3 of the members from the most recent World Cup squad don't even have Wikipedia pages. Things are bad when you're only good if you've got a Wikipedia page. Dear. Well, we've gone through 2 teams. We've got 2 teams to go, and we'll pop back and have a look at those straight after this.
Leicester Till I Die TV, your first choice for everything Leicester City. Tune in and join in now.
Indeed, Germany. This is the country that there's 2 countries I hate. If I'm going to be honest.
Did you add tree at the end of that word? What were the words you said? You said something tree.
I'm not going there.
They used to have a player with the same name.
They did. You obviously know it, so you don't need telling. I can't. I mean, and no disrespect to obviously Wales and Scotland and Ireland, Northern Ireland. I'm not one of these that wants those teams to do well if England haven't qualified. But also, there's certain teams when Germany were playing in the Euros and they were going mad because we were booing the national anthem. And then all the presenters the next day who have no idea what football is even about were saying, it's back to the war and you shouldn't be bringing it. No, it's not back to the war. It's back to 1966, you dumb med presenters. And there's certain countries I would take pride in booing the national anthem. One of them is Germany. Argentina's not far behind, and I can't stand the French either. So, Viva England, that's what I say. All we need to do is rebuild Hadrian's Wall, and I'd be happy. But Germany,
Rule Britannia.
exactly. Where it will never be the room. 12th Germany in the FIFA ranking. They're quite low. Obviously, European region, qualified back in October. I mean, all these qualification groups are so piss easy, to be honest with you. How Italy did not get through, I don't know. But Germany qualified first in Group J. They've been in 20 of 22 World Cups, and they've won 4 titles there, last in 2014. Talk to me about Germany.
Well, obviously, they've changed up. They had Joachim Löw, I think, at the last World Cup. Now they've got Hansi Flick in charge.
If you put them two together, you could have Joachim Löw
exactly
doing that,
if anything,
doing that, couldn't you?
If anything, that Joachim Löw had his Hansi Flick in everything, didn't he? His nose, his arse, his belly button.
I wasn't going to go there, but he obviously did.
But, you know, I can understand why Germany are 12th. They didn't even, you know, get out of the group stages in the last one. You know what, Doug? I like that one. I'll let you have that one. I like that.
Get off your honeymoon.
But yeah, they didn't even get through the group stage in 2018. You know, they lost 2-0 to South Korea, 1-0 to Mexico. They only just beat Sweden 2-1. But even then, you know, they made it hard for themselves with 10 men. You know, they're going to want to show that, you know, that they've improved. Again, another team with some really quality young players. You've got Leroy Sané, Kai Havertz, obviously in terms of Premier League players. You've got Jamal Musiala at Bayern Munich, Nico Schlotterbeck, and Karim Adeyemi as well, who's a young up-and-coming striker that's been linked with a few Premier League clubs. But that mixed with the likes of Rudiger, Gundogan, Neuer, Thomas Muller, Mats Hummels. You know, sometimes you need these experienced heads in with the younger lads to give them that sort of, you know, to let them know sort of that's it. You're in a World Cup. This is what the tournament means to the nation, etc. A bit like when you have an homegrown player for a rivalry. You know, in a rivals match, it's always nice to have one in the dressing room. But Germany are going to want to show an improvement from 2018, as I say.
I know you like the corners, but you started doing it in dressing rooms as well, haven't you? But Germany are going to want to improve. They are going to want to improve, and especially when they see that FIFA ranking at 12th, you'd expect Germany to at least be in the top 10. And I will not bat. I thought Ant was going to go to watch some games in the World Cup, because I don't. Do you ever remember that, you know, when before we had seats and everything, when the little kid was at the back and couldn't see what was going on, he was passed down the heads of all the other fans in front of him to get to the front. That would be Ant. That really would be. He's probably got some step ladders now. Thing is, with Germany, you can never write them off, can you? I mean, you know, yes, they had a bad, last World Cup, and Euros wasn't brilliant, but you just know they're it's like poking the bear, isn't it?
Yeah. Just to finish on with Ant, I'm sure he's only watching to see if Jose Perez gets a call up for Spain. You know, since there's so much love there between the two of them.
In fairness, he actually quite likes Perez. It's me that hates him.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying after yesterday's love fest. But yeah,
well, there is. What was it? Anton Perez, KISS.
Yeah, kissing in a tree.
Yes. I mean, it's ridiculous, isn't it, Germany? You know, I mean, I think the thing is, it's like you say, they've gone from winning it in 2014 to not making it through the group stage and up 22nd out of 32 at the World Cup in 2018 in Russia. And you just know that they are going to come back. And that's the thing with Germany. And very often, it's fine with Germany. Expect them to have a slow start, because they always seem to do that.
They do. It's just, you can't rule them out. You can never rule the Germans out. You know, 1 minute they look dead and buried, and you've got the English. Well, let's just say the Geordies. The Geordies are out there in their England top shouting "Auf Wiedersehen, Pet." And to be honest, you know, they come back fighting in Germany.
All right.
A good programme with that.
It was all right. It was all right. Jimmy Nail, eh? Jimmy Nail.
Jimmy Nail and his bloody crocodile shoes.
Yes. Germany says James should make it to at least to the semi-finals. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. But like I say, they always seem to have a slow start and they build in to the. Remember the time when we actually knocked them out and they had to qualify via the playoffs, and we were getting excited. And I think they got through by the playoffs and still went on and won the bloody thing.
Yeah. It's that's just Germany all over, Chris. Germany all over. Germany to a T.
Yeah. Timo Werner is a total flop. Even his teammate is better than him, says Helen. And Delboy, thank you very much. Trying to get the lights up there. Cheers, buddy.
Well said, Delboy. Well said.
Let's have a look at Germany's World Cup record. So their biggest win was 8-0. Can you remember who that was against?
Not a clue.
That was in Japan. And they beat Saudi Arabia 8-0. So Qatar have probably been thankful they're not in their group. But
more than likely. Although, as you said, if they do start off slow, who knows?
And the biggest defeat there was 8-3 to Hungary in 1954. Yes, I remember it well, Ant, before you say anything. And the two worst results ever at the World Champ was the went out in round one in 1938 and in the group stage, like we just said, in 2018. So let's have a look what 90minute.com have to say about our friends over in Europe. They've ranked them 5th out of 32 teams. Strength, the Germany. I mean, that kind of sums it all up, really. Weakness, they were rubbish at their last two tournaments. I love this. Hansi Flick's Germany looked rather formidable and were decent bets to make a deep run at the World Cup again. Their lack of a centre-forward top could hinder them. It might be worth giving Closer a bell.
Well, that was pointless. Why would you stick Miroslav Klose in a Portsmouth top and give him a bell? It stands. It's ridiculous. Don't bother.
That is Germany for you. And now we go to the land of the rising sun.
The creme de la creme.
Yeah. We go to Japan. 23rd in FIFA ranking. Obviously, coming over from Asia. Qualified in March by the top of Group B over there in the Asian region. And they've been, actually, I didn't realise, they've been to 7 of 22 World Cups.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not a bad outfit, to be fair. Again, a bit like Costa Rica, sort of, not to be underestimated. They got to the round of 16, in 2018. So they only narrowly lost it to Belgium 3-2.
Yes, they did that. I remember that. Yes.
So, and a little stat for you as well, Chris. They're the first ever Asian nation to beat a South American side after beating Colombia 2-1 in the 2018 group stage.
That was in Osaka. No, it wasn't. Osaka scored. Well, we never know with these places. I mean, they didn't really do anything. They didn't enter at the start. They withdrew for something in 1938. They were suspended from FIFA for some reason in 1950. I don't know if there was a little argument going on around that time. They didn't qualify. They didn't enter when it was in England in 1966. They didn't qualify. 1998 was the first time that they qualified, going out to the group stage. They finished 9th, which was their equal best ever in 2002, which was at their, obviously, when they hosted it. And again, if you look on YouTube, there's a big conspiracy theory that these teams seem to do well when they're on the home soil. But you could say that about England, couldn't you?
Yeah.
And they finished ninth in the Cup again in 2010 in South Africa. They're not really going to make a dent, are they, in this one, do you think? You'd keep your fiver in your pocket?
I would, yeah. I'd rather put my money elsewhere.
Really nice to see you, Del Boy. Thank you for popping on.
Take it easy, pal. All the best. They probably had their swan song again in the 2018 World Cup. However, most of their squad's aging, to be fair. Helen says there, Minamino's a decent player that's just made the move to Monaco. They've got. Do you remember Maya Yoshida, who played at the back for Southampton?
Nope.
No? Bloody hell.
Sounds like a takeaway.
No, they've got former Inter Milan player Yuto Nagatomo still knocking about. He's in his late 30s. But they've got Tomiyasu, the Arsenal defender.
Say no more. I mean, they're going home at the group stage, aren't they?
No, true. They've got Takafusa Kubo, who's a young player from Real Madrid.
It's easy for you to say.
Well, I just think that Hajime Moriyasu's team are going to be pretty decent. I think, again, a bit like Costa Rica, going to be underrated. Two teams in Japan and Costa Rica are going to be like, right, Spain and Germany are going to think they've got this. Just because we've got a flag.
No
just because we've got a flag like an arsehole doesn't mean that we have to play like one. So
now then, do you know Shinji Okazaki?
I do know Shinji Okazaki.
He was their top goal scorer at the World Cups in 2010 and 2014. Mind you, he did only get 2 goals. So is he still? He's surely not still playing.
No, I don't think he is now.
No, he's still playing, but just not playing for Japan.
Yeah, probably kick that one to the curb.
Yes, talking of kicking to the curb. Japan's best World Cup will be 2015 in the rugby. Here we go. I asked a Japanese chef how to make a bowl of ramen. He said, "Let me show you." Okay. Indeed, yes, Shinji Okazaki. I remember it was it was 2016, the year we won the Premier League, just in case you haven't seen the cup behind me there. And we were playing Sunderland, and it was his first game, and he was like a dog with a bone. And he can't. He was literally just after players. And I said to Sean, my son who was with me, I said, he's going to be a good player. I said, he's knackered. And it's like half time. He never played past 60 minutes, hardly ever, but he ran so much. It was unbelievable. Unbelievable, Jeff.
Unbelievable, Jeff.
So let us have a look. What I don't even think about what 90minutes.com say about Japan. They've got them at 17 out of 32. Strength. I don't get this. There's obviously the undivided loyalty of everyone associated with Celtic.
Yeah, because a lot of Celtic. I think there's probably Shinsuke Nakamura. Could have had ties with him. Which that video. Have you not seen it? It's in Scottish. This little Scottish lad's playing with his football cards, and he opens it up and he's like, "Oh, let's see who we get." He's like, "Shunsuke Nakamura," and you just hear his dad shout from other room, "It's Shunsuke Nakamura, you fucking doughball." He's like, I must have missed that. I mustn't have that on my favourites on YouTube. Oh, it's hilarious.
But anyway, the weakness is the undivided hatred of everyone associated with Rangers. And general is, however you pronounce it, don't blow your chance to become a World Cup cult icon. Okay, so that go for a hatchet. That is the team. So let us have a look here, because we're going to let you, like we did last time. Doug has supplied me with his his
Specimen.
choice, whoever's gone through, which you only remembered today. I mean, bloody hell, Doug. Have you had something else on your mind? Come on. One job, mate. One job. Honestly, you can't trust anybody these days, can you? So we're going to go through Spain, Costa Rica, Germany, and Japan and see if you agree, as you didn't at all last time with Doug. Who do you think is going to win this group?
I'm going to say Germany win this group.
Okay. And who do you think is going to come second? As if we don't know.
I'm going to say Costa Rica.
No, you're not.
I am.
No, you're not.
I am.
Are you being serious?
I am being 100% serious.
Are you dog shitting me, or are you?
No,
really...
I am not. I have consulted a doctor. He said I'm apparently well.
Not in the head.
Yeah, I'm going to go for Costa Rica.
Tell me why. Tell me lies. Tell me sweet little. Why would you put Costa Rica?
Tell me why I don't like Mondays. Tell me why I don't like Mondays. I just think there'll be a surprise package. I think that, you know, there's the odd group in a World Cup every now and again where a team that you don't expect to qualify actually goes and does it. You know, Costa Rica have had to go the hard way. They've had to come through, you know, numerous ways of trying to get into the tournament. They've done it. They've qualified. They'll want to give this a good go. And I think they'll just pip Spain to second spot.
Be serious, man. You cannot be serious.
Oh, I am indeed.
Well, whatever you are, I'll have a pint of whatever you're having, please. So Costa Rica in second. Therefore, I think you said Germany in third.
Spain will be going in third, yeah.
Spain in third, and then Japan in fourth.
Yeah.
Well, James has just said it's a bold prediction.
Well, I'm a bold man. What can I say? It's, to be fair, I've pissed a lot of fan bases off today. I may as well keep the habit up for 24 hours. So why not go with it?
Oh, it's all I can
Unbelievable, Jeff.
Well, I thought I saw something last week. You do realise, I mean, although we're not obviously taking yours forward, thank God, that they are forever. Well, they're on camera, so to speak. So
they are indeed. They are indeed. Just like there's footage of me crying on the final day of the season. You know, it's there for the world to see.
Indeed, I did want to put my arm around you and tell you to fucking grow up. What's Japan? Japan's got down to Shinji Okazaki. Shinji Okazaki had a third long. He had a bloody iron long. I don't know about anything else. I bet Doug was telling jokes all day long on Saturday. Wait till it's his honeymoon night. That'd be one big joke. Bum bum. There'll be no Tartan army in Qatar. No, not even Delamitri could sing about that. Germany, Spain to go through. Says James. Who knows, Dan? You might be right. Don't tell him that. And no, Helen, just the one. I can imagine, just a sidetrack for a minute, on his wedding speech when he stood up, that I bet he loved it. I bet he'd got this light shining on him, and I bet he got all his jokes there. Ladies and gentlemen, what anything happened to me on the way to the church? An Englishman, a Scotsman, and a Welshman walked into a church. I bet he had them all. But let us go on and see what Doug went for.
Oh,
yes, completely different to you. Well, yeah, no, you went for Germany top, didn't you?
Yeah.
Spain second, Japan third, and Costa Rica fourth. I'm going to be actually. I agree more with with Doug. Sorry, how could I agree with Dan? I agree more with Doug, but I would actually put Spain top, Germany second, then Japan, then Costa Rica. But by that deduction, I would also say, remember what I said earlier, Germany are slow starters, and I could see them going on and actually winning the bloody thing. Let's just remind ourselves of groups of Doug's other choices. Group A, no, he was controversial in Group A. Senegal top, Netherlands second, Ecuador third, and Qatar in fourth. But if you believe these conspiracy theories that you see on YouTube about all the different World Cups, don't be surprised if you see Qatar in second. You heard it here first. You heard it here first. I'm not saying FIFA are corrupt or anything like that. Don't get me wrong. We know that's not true, but just watch that. Just see how far Qatar get. Group B, he had England top, Wales second, USA third, Iran fourth. To be totally honest with you, I'd love to see Wales go home.
Yeah. Give us Iran.
But according to that, if Doug's predictions are right, we get Netherlands in the next round. And if we come second, we could get Senegal. So it's not. I have a feeling we're going to get Netherlands, and that could be a very short World Cup for us this year.
I have a feeling I have a funny feeling we're not even going to get out the group stage.
If we don't get out of that group stage, then I'm going to have to change my total mind and say let's get rid of Gareth Southgate. There you go. As much as a Southgate fan, if he doesn't get us out of that group, he needs to go. Group C, and again, I think Argentina, we would have to say probably almost certainly be top there.
Yeah.
Mexico, I think that's something about Mexico I like, and they always seem to do reasonably well. You know, they're flatter to deceive.
What is it, Chris? What is it? Is it enchiladas, fajitas?
It's that when that little Mexican comes round fitting your carpet shouting, "Andale, andale." Come on! Boom!
I'll give you that. I worked in an underlay factory as well.
Underwear?
Underlay factory.
Oh, God. Oh, honestly, if you wait long enough, all these jokes come round and you can fit them in somewhere. Poland and Saudi Arabia, third and fourth. And then for Group D, he went Denmark to win it with France second. Tunisia in third and Australia in fourth. What would be a shame when it's seen the Aussies struggle at a sport. They didn't do very well in this year's Eurovision, so let's make it 2 out of 2 for them. Anthony says he can see 1 or 2 underdogs going through to the next round. Well, quite possibly. It'd be nice to see that, wouldn't it? As I do like to see, you know. Anthony says, I need a new joke book. I have got one. I got one off Amazon the other day. It is, you know, the history of Arsenal Football Club and all the trophies they've won. I tell you what, it's so thin, but it's really, really funny, you know. But
it's rare. There's only been so many copies made.
It's the first edition. It's the only edition. Let me get rid of all of that, and then we can. There we go. So next week we are looking at Group F, are we not?
Aye, Belgium, Canada, Morocco, and Croatia.
I'm glad you did that. I was searching for that madly then. Yeah, Belgium, Canada, Morocco, and I think you're with us next week. I think Doug's still away.
Yeah, I'm still with you.
Belgium, Canada, Morocco, and Croatia. I think.
Sorry to upset people that want Doug back already.
Yeah. We want Doug. We want Doug. He's done a Duncan Ferguson. He's walked out on us. Sorry, James. It's early doors, I know, and I'm gonna stick my head on the road. 9:00 next week. Obviously, we will be back to talk about this. But I think it's going to be. I'd be surprised if it wasn't Belgium and Croatia, to be honest with you.
No, no, I'd say so. I'd say so. Morocco aren't going to be pulling up anything, and Canada don't have the a squad capable of probably beating those.
No. Do you think Belgium? There was a big talk obviously with Sven, and it was our golden era. You know, we had the Beckhams and the Butts and the Nevilles and all that. The Slippy G's and all that. That was our golden era. Have we just seen Belgium's golden era? Do you think?
Probably, I'd say so. You know, they've even had players that have now gone on to retire. You know, funnily enough, Burnley's got one of them as a manager.
Yes.
You know, Company was a stalwart at the back. He's now, you know, gone past his playing career into management. You know, you're still looking at the likes of, you know, Hazard, who's not really done much at Real Madrid. Lukaku, is he going to find form again? Now he's back at Inter. You can always count on Kevin De Bruyne to sort of come up with some magic. But then, you know, it all depends. You know, big things are probably expected of Belgium because of the players that they've got. And, you know, being practically like France's little sister sort of thing, you know, they've got, you know, they have got an abundance of talent. They just need to use it correctly, and it should eventually work. But I think for me now, it's too little too late unless they get a lucky break.
Yeah, like you say, they have probably that. I think that was their chance, to be honest with you.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, let's just have a look before we go, and thank you once again for popping on.
Not a problem. Not a problem at all.
I'm just bringing this up because I just want to sort of. You know, this is the world ranking according to FIFA, and I know they're probably not sort of worth the paper they're written on. Brazil number 1. So Belgium have actually finally fallen off number 1. I don't think I've ever seen a team be at number 1 for so long without actually winning anything.
Yeah, surprises me, does that?
But Belgium saying that, so they are down to 2. Argentina have gone up 1 to number 3. France is number 4. And I still don't get, I really, really, really don't get this. England in 5th.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose we got to the final.
To sort of be loyal and sort of say, you know, great, we're 5th, but I just don't get it. We've just not been playing.
No, are we there in favour of the fact that, you know, we invented football? Is it a case of, oh, well, you invented the game, so it's right that you're in the top 5? However, okay, we did get to the finals in the Euros. You know, that will have, you know, notched us up a little bit in terms of points. But yeah, but you know, we've only ever won it once. We should easily probably be sat with somebody like pissing Uruguay.
In fairness, I suppose they do include like the fact we got to the Euros final and whatever. Helen says here, I would love the Welsh to beat the English. You know what though, Helen? I'd love Liverpool to win the Premier League, but it's not going to happen for a long time again, is it? Oh, you want to? The gloves are off, Helen. The gloves are off. Anthony says, thanks for coming on, Dan. I do like it when you're on a stream. I can take the piss. Other than Dan, who when he's not on a stream actually does have a piss.
The thing is, for Anthony, he's been stood in front of a mirror taking piss out of himself for a good last few hours. So whenever you go live and I'm on, Chris, it gives him somebody else to take the piss out of.
This is true. He looks at himself in his Southampton kit and thinks, my God, I've got to laugh. But, you know, England were above Spain, were above Italy. I know Italy haven't qualified, but they did win the Euros. Above the Netherlands, Portugal and Denmark. You know, I mean, if we go down further than Denmark, you've then got the likes of Germany, Mexico, Uruguay. That's the sort of area I'd expect to see us in, maybe sort of between 10th and 12th.
Yeah, and I'd still say that's quite, you know, a retrospective of what we've achieved.
But they'll, how we say, FIFA work in mysterious ways.
Oh, they do.
It's usually with a brown envelope and a jiffy bag. I must admit, I just found out that you can actually donate sperm by the post. I didn't realise it came in a jiffy.
Oh, painful. Painful. Oh. I knew that would come in.
Hey! Hey! Dan, you're a gentleman, sir. Thank you for coming on.
No, anytime.
Your details, as always, are permanently etched into the description on my YouTube channel. Because you hear that often, it's just easier to leave you up there. Where can people find you? And if they want any Coventry and Hull fans that are watching, this is where you can find him to insult him, because he was not being nice to your. I love Coventry, and I think they should come up next season. But Dan can't stand Coventry or Hull for that matter. So this is where, if you want to have a go at him for his predictions, this is where you can find him. Go for it, Dan. Go on.
For all your EFL content next season, obviously there will be some Premier League stuff going on as well, if I can fit that in, as well as some World Cup stuff. But yeah, for everyone that wants to send their hate mail, feel free to send it to Turf Morehouse TV on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, you know the rest. All social media platforms. Go check out that name right down there.
That's where the shit happens.
And in the corner of this room is where the piss happens.
Yeah. But those of you that don't know, you're going to have to find it's in the fun zone on Leicester Till I Die TV, all about Dan flopping it out. And yes, having using the corner, all down to Kate, his partner, for telling us. Daniel,
I'm in the corner having a piss. Oh,
and that was the day they did put baby in the corner. Unfortunately, they didn't leave you there. So thank you very much for coming on.
Not a problem. Thanks for having me.
We will see you again soon at Turf Morehouse, and Turf Morehouse TV on YouTube is where you can find the ginger bugger. So all the best. Take care.
Cheers, soon, Chris. Mate. Thanks, and thanks for everyone in the chat. Go and show Chris your support. So he deserves it.
Thank you very much. So thanks to Dan, and thanks for his kind words there. As he said, thank you to everybody that was in the chat this evening joining in. Even Anthony, I'm going to say it. There, I've said it. I'm not saying it again. Helen, yeah, even though you wanted the Welsh, thank you. James, thank you very much for being in. And I feel you like a brother. I feel you like a brother, James. The one that got adopted. Doug, thank you very much. Have a great honeymoon, Doug. Have a fantastic time. Really, really don't get your bits sunburned, whatever you do. And everybody else who's been in, Ant that was in earlier, thank you very much. Niall that was in earlier. Del Boy, what a bleeding story. Thank you very much for coming in, and anybody else before that. It was a pleasure to perform for you. I said to you, Anthony, God, what do you want? You're just so needy. You're so neat. Now, I know Southampton fans, you don't get an awful lot of love, but I can't. You're like a shadow. I turn around, you're always there. I'm going to have to get an injunction against you, mate. Anthony, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for coming on. Guys, thank you for watching. If you haven't yet already, please, please, please subscribe to Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube. We are growing, but it's very slow, so anything you can do would be an immense pleasure if you haven't done already. Smash the likes. That does help me with YouTube. And if you want to get informed of when we are on, which is tomorrow at 6 o'clock next, when we're talking to Ben Jacobs, the guy who said that Tielemans could be going to Newcastle, works for ESPN, BT Sport, Talk Sport, and The Athletic, to name just a few. We'll be talking to him at 6 o'clock tomorrow and asking him about Tielemans to Newcastle. And if you have been listening on your favourite podcast platform, whatever that is, that just keeps going from strength to strength. We've had nearly 14,000 listens so far this year on the podcast. So thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. Allegedly. I will see you tomorrow. Don't do anything I won't enjoy. Good night now. Can I just say, before you go, I've started doing that. I don't know if you noticed then, when I'm saying good night, I'm winking. I'm doing an Anne Robinson. You are the weakest link. Goodbye. I don't know why, so forgive me. See you tomorrow, guys.
Thanks for watching Leicester Till I Die. This is Chris saying goodbye and see you next time.
Thanks for watching. These videos are tremendous. You better like them too or I'll be back.
Cool. I'm out of here. Ooh, that's a wrap.
Some people are on the pitch.